Alright, Diablo players, let's go over what are the best skills for the Necromancer in Season 9, as well as going over the reasons why people play a lot of these, because there's a lot of new players coming into the game, or maybe you're just coming back to the game and you want to know kind of what are the best passives as well as the skills to lock in for the Necromancer. So, let's go over it. So this is basically taking into consideration the top tier builds. Keep in mind, this isn't necessarily a build guide, but what you want to try to do is fit in a lot of these skills inside of your bar and your passive tree. So let's go ahead and get started in the basic department. A lot of people, by the way, are playing a lot of darkness or shadow skills because there is a free damage multiplier depending on how many you actually fit on your bar. So there may be some skills that people just literally throw in because it's a darkness skill and they just want the bonus because shadow and dark give you a bonus. But the basic skills, you have to get them to advance on your tree anyways. So a lot of people opt to play Reap, and I'll go over the reasons why. So Reap has two things that are quite nice. So what you're really utilizing it for is the modifiers. So on Reap, there is one where if an enemy that is hit by Reap dies within 2 seconds, you gain a bonus of attack speed. This is great because, well, that increases your attack speed, which also helps out your minions as well. And then also Acolyte's Reap, which allows a corpse to be formed under the enemy every 4 seconds, which can be something that gives you more survivability and more damage. So it's quite great for that. That's why a lot of people pretty much play Reap, but there are some builds, again, that play Decompose as well, and you're just, again, using it because it's a darkness skill. And they just put 1 point into each to kind of advance on the tree, but if you want to put more points into it, it's very, very common as well. Next up, as far as the core skills go, as far as Necromancer goes, a lot of people really like getting extra essence if you can utilize it. This isn't required in every single build, but getting the essence and core skills, if you are playing, let's say, Blood Surge or a Shadow Blight build, these are okay options as well, but the only one that pretty much is in every single build is going to be Hewed Flesh. So what this does is makes it so your damage has a chance to generate a corpse on a lucky hit, which allows you to, again, generate a corpse for damage reduction, utility. You got a lot more stuff here, so it's great for that. And then on top of that, Blight over here. So Blight is pretty much in every single Necromancer build. It doesn't really matter what you're playing. And the reason why is there is a free 20x multiplier. So any enemies that are within Blight take 20x from you and your minions. So that's why we play that one. And then moving down over here, there's a lot of great points to put in. So if you want to use Corpse Consumption, you can use Corpse Explosion. You can also use Corpse Tendrils. Those are the most popular ones to utilize. But Corpse Explosion obviously explodes the corpse. And then you could make it do some sort of shadow damage or corrupting damage here. So it can activate maybe a bonus depending on if the enemy is on some sort of a condition. But a lot of people just like it because it consumes corpses and there's really no cooldown with it, which is quite nice. And then a lot of people are playing Fueled by Death, so this allows you to get increased damage after you consume a corpse. And then if you want to play Blood Mist, there are some builds that kind of like having this, because after you use a skill that overpowers, you can like reduce the cooldown on it. And this technically can give you a little bit of mobility, but it's not like Blood Rush from Diablo 3. It's a lot slower. There's also this increased critical strike chance if you do want to play it, but for the most part, a lot of people opt to not play it. But there are some people that do enjoy it, so if you like it, go for it. But the things that a lot of people put in like the top tier builds, the Fortitude over here, so you have a lucky chance to generate a barrier, so that's more survivability over there, and then Titan's Fall for increased damage. And then a lot of builds will put multiple points into Spiked Armor. This gives you up to 15x armor, which is basically a roll on a piece of gear, so that's nice. If you already reach 1000 armor in Tormented Fourth, then you don't need this, but if you still need to armor cap yourself, obviously you want to get this. And a lot of builds, they opt to go for more on the offensive side of things and then get some defenses here with those points over there. And then as far as like the curses over here, a lot of people like to get Death's Embrace, so that's you deal more damage and you take less damage, so it's like a double positive over there. And then we have Amplified Damage to get increased damage to cursed and feared enemies, and a lot of people will have some sort of automatic way to apply curses, whether it's the Blood Moon Breaches, which are the unique pants that have your minions apply it, like right now in Season 9, the brand new unique is all about the Hand of Naz, which is about your shadow mages, so it's going to automatically apply, or you can get an aspect that will automatically apply the curses, so you don't really have to activate them. Sometimes you may not see these on people's skill bar, but you will see them being activated because they automatically activate. But Decrepify is the one that's really good. Iron Maiden's like, whatever, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just the curse that gives you the multipliers, why some people like it and will equip it. But Decrepify is the one that's way more popular, and the reason why is it slows the enemies down, they deal less damage, and you can get increased cooldown reduction with this over here, which is quite nice. And then if you are playing, let's say, a mage build or a skeleton warrior build, a golden build, obviously you put the points in there, but I'm just going over the stuff that everyone plays. In the earlier stages, Death's approach is really nice because getting that huge amount of extra bonus movement speed is good for quality of life. If you don't reach the movement speed cap, a lot of people like to get this. It's just great, especially in the earlier stages. Increased lucky hit chance, again, generating more corpses, getting more barrier, and on top of that, fortification is great. And then Coalesce Blood, this actually got changed in the very beginning of the game. It did not do this. So you get to get increased damage while healthy, so that's going to be nice because you can obviously survive pretty easy with the Necromancer if you have all those barriers. But on top of that, getting the increased damage is quite nice. Also wanted to mention, in Season 9 specifically, we did lose out on quite a bit amount of barrier. That's why a lot of them will up for the lucky hit chance, and then also being able to generate that barrier helps out to keep your character healthy. So healthy is referring to your character have 80% or more HP. That's what healthy means in the game. Oh, it has it right here. Cool, that's nice. And then also corpse tendrils. Again, you want to consume corpses to get all these bonuses. There's also a legendary node on the Paragon board that will give you a bonus. And then we're getting this so you can make the enemies vulnerable. This groups up enemies. Again, however you want to consume corpses, whether it's tendrils or if you want to use corpse explosion, it's kind of like requiring a Necromancer. Now, going into the reason why a lot of people are playing just random darkness skills, because this is very common, and just a lot of builds, especially earlier on, they'll just throw in as many of these as possible, all the darkness skills. So for each darkness skill on your action bar, you gain increased movement speed and just more damage. So that's why even in a build that like you're not based on darkness, you just get that increased movement speed, which is just quite nice, and or more damage, which is awesome as well. And then obviously if you're playing like a Bone Spear build, there's a lot of these other bonuses, but again, I'm trying to go over things for every single build. And then we have Necrotic Carapace, which when a corpse is formed from your yourself or your minions, you get to fortify for 15% of your max life, which I believe is still set to 10% damage reduction while you are fortified. This used to be even better with Overpower, which would give you like even more damage, but it no longer works because Season 9 updated Overpower to basically be a lot worse. So if you are playing a minion build, then obviously getting a bunch of the minion ones, not for survivability though, by the way, it's only for like the damage ones that you're going to be taking. So like having your minions gain increased armor, you never take this. You get the ones where like it gives you minion damage, but while you're healthy, you can get the increased crit if you are not playing the Shadow Dot variant, which is the popular version this season, but this is taken in almost every single build that's non-dot form. And then if you are playing a build that relies on ultimate, like there is Soul Rift used to be a lot better because it used to give you barrier, but like Blood Wave is still a popular build, so getting finality is so cool. And then a lot of times if you're playing a non-minion build, you get all these sacrifice bonuses, so keep that in mind as well. And then as far as like the key passive, it depends on the build you're playing. And again, the point of this video is to go over the generic stuff that everyone plays in most builds. So again, my goal is not to tell you to just copy these like skills and throw them in and copy the skill tree. These are the best like passives that you should try to fit into your build. And then also I want to mention again, Blood Moon Breaches is how people apply curses, because sometimes I'll be playing and people will be wondering, why do you put points into the skill tree when I make build guides for the Necromancer? I put points into Iron Maiden or Decrepify, but then on my skill bar I just don't equip it at all. And the reason why, just like how the Rogue has the Umbrus and it will generate the Dark Shrouds so you don't have to put it on the bar, same thing with the Necromancer. You can apply a lot of these bonuses, and even without equipping this on the skill bar, I would still get those effect of the curses, and when I put the points into the skill tree, it does affect those ones. So hopefully that kind of makes some sense. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. These are the best key passives, as well as all the things that you want to try to lock in for the Necromancer for Season 9 and in the future. But that's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to see the other classes, as we already have a bunch of them already, and I'm going to plan to do this pretty consistently. That way, the new players, as well as the returning players, can know kind of what is the thing to lock in. And if you need a build guide for like the gameplay that you guys are seeing, which is the brand new Skeleton Mages for Season 9, I'll link that down below. But again, right now, I'll be honest though, there's two variants of Necromancer that are quite popular as far as pushing, which is like a Blood Wave variant, and there's like a Shadow Dot. Those are kind of the ones to lock in. But anyways, catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.